Ha! Welcome back to the cave. Scotland has always been used as a dumping ground for England's British government nasty, horrible weapons tests. Today, I have two updates that are truly shocking. First, the Island of Death, Gruinard Island, where the deadly bioweapon anthrax was tested in World War II by England's War Department at Porton Down. Gruinard Island was contaminated for decades, but supposedly it was contained. But I've learned today from Scottish sheep farmers that's not true. Mainland Scottish sheep died from anthrax. Here's a fascinating Clipper film from 1962 where the anthrax spores had jumped onto mainland Scotland and were killing farm animals.
I've come a long way to visit that island lying out there in its lonely sea loch. Not to land on it, mind you, no fear, you wouldn't catch me setting foot on it, or any of the crofters and fishermen that live in these parts either. No, I just wanted to take a boat out and have a closer look from a safe distance at Britain's most mysterious island. On the map, this is called Gruinard Island. Hereabouts they call it the Island of Death, the Mystery Island, and for good reason. After about a year, the scientists departed, but they didn't leave Gruinard Island as they found it. That is still contaminated ground, still so dangerous that the War Office put up notices like this one only 4 years ago, 16 years after the event. Now, you don't get any trouble now, of course, from this long ago affair, do you?
Well, yes, in this particular place, yes. I lose sheep, in the spring, when the grass begins to grow again.
But you'd lose sheep normally here and there always, would you?
Oh, yes, but I lose more in this particular place. Yes.
Is that so?
Yes, where we lost them during the war.
20 years later?
Yes.
All we've got to go on is the guesswork of 20 years, and it doesn't all tally. If it was germs the boffins were using, why should animals die on the instant? If it was poison gas, why should that island be contaminated still 20 years later? And in this atom bomb age, when the thought of mass murder no longer shocks as it should, why all this secrecy still?
Scotland is England's dumping ground. Nuclear, biological, and even advanced physics weapons were all tested, tried, or stored a million miles away from the English home counties. And nothing has changed. In 2024, Scotland now has a new, secret, and possibly deadly site.
Glen Sand, discovered in Scotland. A place carefully chosen for its unique properties and the home of our super quarry.
Glen Sand has all the attributes for a secret submarine base. Let's go through them. Here it is. It's massive. And hang on a minute. You can't go there. There are no roads. It is completely cut off. It's in part of Scotland with no vehicle access. The only way to get to Glen Sand, the quarry, is by a daily shuttle service actually operated by the military. Here's the log of the wee boat that goes from Oban out to the Glen Sand quarry. Obviously it's just full of people doing quarrying. Or is it?
Scottish people are rightly suspicious of Sanda. It seems on the surface just to be a very high quality granite quarry, but its isolation, its method of deep tunnel extraction, and now I have evidence of extreme security. What exactly is going on at the Sanda quarry? Now, it could be that environmental groups just don't like quarrying, so the quarry has some security guards. But I have evidence today from a Kintyre fisherman that it goes way beyond just a couple of night watchmen. So people contact me, and I'm certainly not going to tell you this person's name, but I am going to read what he said because It's truly shocking. Something is going on at Sand Quarry. Hey Simon, I'm a fisherman born and bred in the West Coast. I'm redacting where he said. I've been fishing around the West Coast for many years and I've seen many things, but I'm particularly interested in Loch Linnhe. Loch Linnhe is a deep sea loch where on one side, totally isolated, no road access, is this Sand Quarry. And he goes on to say this. One night we were hauling our nets in on Loch Linnhe and we decided to go along the pier. So Sand Quarry has a large pier or jetty to tie up their ore carrying ships. We pulled up alongside the pier for about 10 minutes and we were putting our ropes on the pier and just stopping the engine. And we were surrounded by a big group of armed guards. Oh, we see, well, why does a quarry need armed guards? They were pointing their guns at us. Oh, that's not good. And then it happened again. On another trip while fishing in Loch Linnhe, we put our engine into neutral just opposite the quarry because it's good fishing there. And then this happened. A boat appeared out of nowhere. It was not tied up against the jetty. It seemed to come out of the hillside. Now that's very interesting. Again, there was over 10 men in black uniforms with guns asking us what we were doing. Fishing? And they said, not here. You need to go away. This is an MOD project. Oh, so they're actually telling fishermen to move on because of the true nature of their project? He actually shared some videos with me, which I really don't want to share because it shows some faces and reveals who he is and his ship. So he has direct evidence that the Sand Quarry has a secret jetty, or he thought a wee fast-moving boat just appeared out of the rock face. So maybe there's a tunnel where these security people are. But they played their card. They actually told him to go away because the Sand Quarry was an MOD, Ministry of Defence, site. So nothing changes in Scotland. Just further north, we have Anthrax Death Island, which now has been cleared up. But I had no idea that the anthrax spores actually did spread and kill sheep on mainland Scotland long after the experiments had been completed and the island supposedly quarantined. But I'm not surprised that some wee anthrax spores did reach mainland Scotland. And today, just a few miles south, in the beautiful Loch Linnhe, we have a secret MOD base with armed security guards. Scottish people aren't being told what's going on. If you live in Scotland, do a Freedom of Information request. Find out what's really going on at Sand Quarry. You'll probably be fobbed off citing national security, but that actually reveals their hand. So Gruniad, the island of death, and possibly Sanda, which we don't know what's going on, is just a few of the long list of places in Scotland that's turned my fine homeland into a English dumping ground. This has to stop. I'm happy to make these things public. Share with me your information about what's dumped in Scotland, and I'll put it on YouTube because the truth needs to be out there.